Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we are going to do an oil painting, and I'm going to use these new to me crayons. Well, they're drawing oils. Basically what they are is a paint stick. So it's oil paint in a stick form, but it's just a smaller, kind of between the size of a regular paint stick and a pastel, and they're a little firmer. So they will dry completely, but they don't have quite as thick of a skin on them as paint sticks. And I was really curious about these. So I bought this set of modern colors. I paid around $36 for them on Blick, and they do have 3 different sets available: a landscape, an introductory color, and these modern colors. And then you can get any of their colors open stock. And I'm not sure how many colors they have, but I just wanted to get this small set of kind of a quirky little variety of colors just to see if I like them and to see how different they were from the other oil paint sticks I already have and the oil paint sticks that I make myself. These are actually very similar to the first oil paint sticks I made, and they will work really well with those. But I wanted to see how far I could get with just these drawing oils. So R&F is a company that makes encaustic mediums and encaustic paints, and as well as oil paint sticks. They are very high quality. They do tend to be some of the more expensive options out there if you're looking for oil paint sticks, and beautiful quality stuff. I believe they're made in New York, but they are a USA product. And it's just kind of nice to, to try something new. So I've had these for a while. I bought them, I think, in September, but I haven't gotten around to actually using them yet. So I thought this is the perfect time. And the photo I'm using is from the Food Paint Challenge on Instagram. I will link that down below. You can see I have it open on my phone there. And I really enjoy doing that challenge. There's a few challenges I like to do, and I like them because the picture's not too precious. I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to use the photo that's provided and, grab something that I want to use and just play. That's generally what I do with these challenges on Instagram. There's a few that I really like. There's Food Paint Challenge is probably my favorite. There's also the Liquid Paint Challenge and the Shiny Paint Challenge. Those are probably my top 3 favorites. There's also the Botanical Collective. There's all kinds. There's lots of them. And I don't know, they're just kind of nice just to get you out of a rut. And if you can't think of what to paint, it gives you a nice idea. And plus, I think what I really like about them is seeing what other people do for the challenge. And then, because after I post mine, I like to go and look and see what other people have posted, because it's kind of fun to see how we all interpret the same exact reference photo. I enjoy it anyway. You might find it helps you get out of a rut too, or maybe you wouldn't be interested. So I'm basically just seeing what I can do with the sticks here. They do have a little bit of a skin on them, not as thick as like your typical oil paint sticks, and these are firmer than your typical oil paint sticks. So a lot of times your oil paint sticks are going to be much more gooey, and these they feel much more like an oil pastel. I would say they're firmer than a lot of the oil pastels I use, but they lay down really beautifully. The paint was very smooth and creamy. You just have to, wipe that skin off or scribble that skin off before you begin. And as you work, you will be picking up color on the sticks from your previous layers. So I just have a paper towel handy. I'm wiping them off in between. And I was really having a good time, but at this point, because this is a pretty small canvas, it's like a 6x6, I was thinking, these would be a lot more fun on something larger, because I definitely felt like I got to the point where just using these 6 colors on their own, just in stick form, were not going to give me the results that I wanted. So I took a little bit of white paint and I just squirted it onto the box because I was too lazy to get a palette out, and I used a brush, and I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can bring out some highlights and see if that will give me the value range that I need, because there was no white in the set. There was kind of like just like a really pale yellow. And the darkest color was that like crimson red, and it just wasn't the value range. I didn't have enough of a value range there because the colors were fairly, I would say, mid-tone. If I had got the introductory set, which is what I thought about getting the introductory set, because that was black, white, red, yellow, blue, and green, I think. They had more like primaries in them, but that one at the time when I bought this one on Blick, that one was like $46 and this set was $36. And I thought this actually set of colors would give me more variety because I do have so many paint sticks that I made that have like more of the vibrant colors. And I have some other ones from different brands that I've been using over the years. So I wanted to, I didn't want to duplicate what I already had. And honestly, it's really not that much of a savings to buy these in a set because they're $6 something open stock just to buy the colors you want. So I'd probably recommend doing that unless you see a really good sale on the sets. I'm not sure what the retail is. That might be the retail price. Blick lately has been launching new products at their full retail price. So I don't know. I think it is a little bit of a sale, but yeah, it's probably the best bet is just to go and buy the colors you'll use. So I don't know. I thought the set looked kind of neat. I'm a sucker for a set. What can I say? Now at this point, I'm scribbling the sticks onto just a piece of palette paper. You can kind of see how they go down there. And I was wondering if I added a little bit of medium to them, if I could get them to turn into a paint. And I decided to use medium W by Schminke because that will turn any oil paint into a water mixable oil. So I figured it might make it easier for me to clean my brushes when I'm done. And I was also going to use some water mixable oils on top if I needed to add more to it. That white and black that I have there were water mixable oils. And because I had the white and black, I figured that would give me all the tonal range that I need. It would give me all the value range, rather. And the colors probably wouldn't be as vibrant and wouldn't be right on the money, but at least it would give me a way to use these sticks almost on their own, except for that black and white, so I could do tints and shades. But what I found as I was going along, it wasn't that I couldn't get the full value range that I wanted. It was more that the paint was so wet, and because this all has a very similar consistency, I couldn't get those darker colors to really bite in, even when I was adding medium to the paints to make it liquid. They just weren't having the bite. I'm like, I think I'm going to need to go in with some actual paint, which I do. I let it set overnight and then I came back with some paint the next day. But I decided to see what, like I said, see how far I can go with just the sticks and the white and the black. And, I think if I was working on a larger canvas, it probably would have been fine because I wouldn't have needed to get so much detail and I could have left more bold marks. But this just being a 6x6 and an experiment, I found that I just needed to be able to get a little more detail because of the size of this. I do think these would be really nice on a large canvas because I think you'd be able to get enough detail with them. But that said, I do like to go in with a brush at the end and kind of make things a little bit crisper. I was having a little struggle with this spoon. I was having a hard time keeping my hand steady. This was when I was painting this, I don't know what time, it was in the evening. And I think I was maybe a little bit shaky. I was kind of actually not feeling all that inspired yesterday. And it was when I started this painting, which was kind of a bummer because I had the whole day to work on whatever I want. And all weekend I'd been thinking, oh my gosh, when I get down to the studio, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, I'm going to be so productive. I'm going to get so much done. And I spent the day just kind of like picking off little bitty tasks that weren't really that important. I guess they weren't really urgent. I guess there were things I wanted and needed to get done, but I had like a big block of time and I thought I could really get something big done. And it was just one of those days where, no, you're going to be picking around at different things and not really being all that productive. So I guess I was productive. But anyway, I felt like I wanted to paint and I just couldn't get into the groove. So sitting down with these new supplies was just what I needed. It just what I needed to just kind of not have anything too precious. Just going by that reference photo. I'm sorry about the glare on the on my phone there. I thought I had it adjusted so it wasn't going to glare, but yeah, I just wanted to do something that wasn't too precious. I realized I had the little dips on that plate completely wrong, so I had to go in there and fuzz that out and re-put them in. I thought there were only 3 to begin with, and I realized, no, there's 4 little indents on that plate. I'm still not sure I got them spaced out properly, but it's better than it was anyway. And when you've kind of, I don't want to say this is a simple composition, it's kind of simple, but we get a lot going on with the cherries on the background and the elements and whatnot. Yeah, I just thought if there's a little bit of a detail, let's put the detail in. I felt like the painting just needed something, But I'm pretty impressed with how far this went with just the drawing oils. I'm getting ready to review these. I want to do another painting before I fully review these, and of course it will just be these colors. But I really like them. I probably won't buy more right off just because I have so many oil paint sticks, and these are so similar to the ones that I made, like especially the first batch of the oil paint sticks that I made, that I don't really need to add more. But I do think if I hadn't already made a bunch of oil paint sticks, I think I would have really liked this formulation as far as like compared to some other ones. And I think the big thing that I like about these is that there's not a really tough skin to remove. You can just kind of scribble off the very scant waxy coating that's on the outside. And I think what it is because, and I found this to be the same in the ones that I made, is when I had a higher wax content on my sticks, because I was using a combination of beeswax and also oil pastels, because I had a bunch of oil pastels I wanted to use up, and then I added the drying oil, the linseed oil, to that. That gave me a very similar consistency to this, where I just had a wax on it was it's almost like the wax rose to the surface and you just scribble it off and you're good to go. Whereas ones that I didn't use oil pastels in my mix at all, and I just used beeswax and the oil paint and the linseed oil, I found that those created more of a tough skin that you had to peel off. So that's really interesting. I found that really interesting, this formula being so much like the first oil sticks that I DIY'd to use up pastels and oil paint. And I have plenty of those. I made a lot. I still have more supplies to make more. It's very tempting. It's very tempting to want to go and buy more of these. I'm not going to lie. I would love to have the full range because they're so nice. But yeah, practically in my situation where I have so much, I really can't justify it. But I would recommend them if you are looking for an oil paint stick. I think these are less fussy because you don't have that thick skin to remove. It's just a very thin shell almost. It's the best way to describe it. And it just comes off so much easier than other oil paint sticks. It's a nice formulation. I have to compare it to the R&F oil paint sticks. I have a generous viewer sent me some because she didn't like the smell of them. They bothered her. And these smell too. That's the other thing I did want to mention. These do have quite a strong linseed oil smell, which does not bother me. I love the smell of linseed oil. But if you are sensitive to that, these are going to have as much smell as oil paints. So kind of keep that in mind. And to clean up your brushes when you're done, you're likely going to want to swish them in some solvent and then wash them with soap and water. I mean, you can wipe them out with some oil if you want to. I know some solvent-free studios, what they'll do is they will take cooking oil and just kind of dip the brushes in cooking oil and then use paper towels and wipe off as much as they can and then wash them in soap. You can do that. I think that goes through a lot more material when you do it that way. So, I keep a jar of, I think what I'm using right now is the Chelsea Studio Lavender Brush Cleaner. It smells rather nice, but again, I'm not bothered by smells. So take it with a grain of salt. Gamsol is probably your best option if you are looking for truly odorless mineral spirits. I only use that for thinning, like when I'm painting. I think it's a little too dear to use to clean my brushes, quite frankly. It's it's more expensive than or I'll even use the odorless mineral spirits from the hardware store for cleaning my brushes. And I keep it in a silicoil jar, which is this glass jar with this silicone coated coil that's in the bottom, and then the solids of your paint falls to the bottom. You run your brush across the silicone wires and that knocks the paint off and it doesn't damage your brush. And then when you see that there's a lot of sludge in your jar, you let it settle, you pour off the good cleaner, and then you just kind of scoop out the bad stuff. What I do is I'll scoop that out and I'll put that in my can where I collect oily rags and whatnot, and then once a week on trash day or once it's full, I like to do it every week, I'll throw that out. I douse my towels and stuff in water and then I dispose of it then, or you can let it fully dry out. There's different ways to go about disposing of the waste sludge. You could just let it dry out. It's just be pigments at that point and dried oil. But I do that so I can not be wasteful, because that is a kind of toxic. Well, I guess it's not really toxic. I don't know. sometimes they say non-toxic. I don't know. I tend to think of all of that stuff as being kind of toxic. But if you can conserve how much of the thinner and solvents you're using, then you don't have to buy it as often, and you're also not releasing that much stuff out into the environment. You know what I mean? So it saves your money and saves the environment. And so you can see I've put some paint on my palette here. This is just palette paper, and the paint is water soluble or water mixable oil paint. I have some Winsor Newton Artisan. I have some Reeves. I have some Weber. Yeah, they all work together fine. My least favorite, honestly, is the Winsor Newton water mixable. But the more I use it, if I'm just using it for accents on top, it's fine. It's fine. It's not my favorite formula. I think I like the Lucas Berlin water mixable oils, and those are pretty affordable too. I think that's my favorite water mixable oils. I'm mostly probably because of availability and cost. It's pretty, Jerry's Artorama sells them pretty affordably in sets and in tubes, and yeah, I like them. A nice buttery consistency. But yeah, I'm using up the Winsor Newton stuff because I had quite a bit of those. Those were the first that I tried, and I will say a little goes a long way. So, that's good. That's good. And then my sister gave me a bunch of hers because she didn't like them, and so I am the home for Misfit art supplies. I take all Misfit art supply orphans in, apparently, and try to use them up. But I do find that, especially nowadays where I paint at home, I don't have a studio away from the house, and this isn't great, but in the winter, I'm downstairs in my basement filming room with the door shut and the heat on, so I don't have a ton of ventilation, so I really don't want to have too much, like, really stinky stuff going on. So this, I can clean my brush with water, and, it's just a little bit less stuff I have to be breathing in if I want to paint in the winter, because I am squeamish. I don't like to be cold, and that works. And here I'm kind of like, there's this really pretty blue. It's almost like a periwinkle. I can't remember what we'll call it. Was it cobalt? Like a light cobalt? It definitely had white in the mix. It was definitely just kind of like cornflower, periwinkle type of blue. And I used that plus actually, no, you know what it was? I used the lavender color that was in the set, and the blue that was in the set. And so I was just trying to mix something that would be a good shadow. So I started with cerulean. I'm like, no, that's way too green. And then I added some ultramarine blue and some crimson to that, and got a nice kind of grayed lavender shade that was nice for the shadow on this plate. And at this point, I kind of feel like I'm just kind of playing a little bit. I need to wrap it up, because if I don't wrap it up, I'm going to overwork it. And sometimes that happens, or like you just need to let the paint set for a bit and let it like tack up a bit so that you can layer more on top, or you can let it completely dry so you can come back in for details. But I get impatient, and I'm definitely more of a alla prima painter, meaning all at once. So I wanted to get this to a state where I could call it done, because honestly, these challenges are week to week, and I was just intending this to be a practice piece. I didn't really want to spend a ton of time on it, and I just want to get used to these drawing oils, because I want to start a larger painting and do it for one of the critique club lessons and work on a larger canvas with these. But I wanted to get something under my belt before I used it in something that was going to be from one of my own reference photos. Now I added a little lemon yellow to the palette, because I just needed something that would bite into that more warm yellow, orange, red color that I had there. And I used a lemon yellow. I think that one was Berlin, and it did lay down nice and opaquely here and there and gave me that punch that I needed. Because when you are painting alla prima in oils, it can be hard to not let everything get all mushed together and to get those crisp details. One of the brushes I really like for oil paints, honestly, is a couple. I do this many paintbrushes I like for oils. But I find that I use the Royal Atlantical has quite a few little nice brushes for oils that are short-handled. They don't make these green ones anymore. They were from like a kit I got probably 25 years ago. But they have a line called Fusion, which has these golden plastic handles. They're really nice. They're firm. They're synthetic. They work really well. They also have a Menta oil acrylic and oil line, which is very affordable. They've got synthetic hog bristles, and they perform quite well. There's been a lot more synthetic options for hog bristles, but I have to say that I have so many brushes that have lasted really long that are natural hair. I'm not buying more natural hair brushes, but I have some in the past that have just lasted so long. So although I'm not a big fan of promoting natural hair brushes, they do last quite a bit longer, and just take care of them and they will keep. So anyway, there's a finished painting. I hope you enjoyed this time lapse. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.